Follow along, Catholic Pilgrims, as we follow French doctor of the Church, St. Francis de Sales, through his book, Introduction to the Devout Life. Tune in as we read through this practical guide for living out the Catholic faith well. It's a beautiful day, Catholic Pilgrims, and a perfect time to read from St. Francis's book. In 10 years of posting online for my Catholic Pilgrim page, I've learned that the slightest criticism of certain forms of entertainment will bring down the wrath of the internet upon your head. People do not want to be told that they are too devoted to a certain form of entertainment, i.e. sports or certain celebrities. They don't want to be told that they hold their preferred entertainment up as an idol. They don't want to hear that maybe their favorite form of entertainment isn't actually good. People will defend their favorite form of entertainment with a passion that borders on the maniacal. And trust me when I say this, I've seen it. This will probably be the most touchy reading in all the book, I think. Mostly because it deals with making sure we aren't devoted to useless things, such as entertainment. I invite you, though, to read it with an open heart and examine yourself honestly. I do the same thing. I'm not asking you guys to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. And I don't think St. Francis is asking us to do anything that he didn't do himself. So let's open to chapter 23 of the first part and begin. Chapter 23. We must purify ourselves from the taste for useless and dangerous things. Sports, balls, festivities, display, the drama, in themselves are not necessarily evil things, but rather indifferent, and capable of being used or abused. Nevertheless, there is always danger in these things, and to care for them is much more dangerous. Therefore, I should say that although it is lawful to amuse yourself, to dance, dress, hear good plays, and join in society, yet to be attached to such things is contrary to devotion and extremely hurtful and dangerous. The evil lies not in doing the thing, but in caring for it. It is a pity to sow in our hearts such vain and idle inclinations, which occupy the place of better things, and hinder our soul from devoting all its energies to higher pursuits. Thus of old the Nazarenes abstained not only from everything which would intoxicate, but also from grapes and from vinegar of wine. Not that these could produce intoxication, but because the taste of the one might excite a desire for the taste of the other. I do not say that we must not use these dangerous things, but I do say that we can never take delight in them without periling our devotion. When the stag has grown too fat, he hides himself in the thickets, knowing that he is not able to fly with sufficient speed from the hunter. So the heart of man, if it is encumbered with these useless attachments, which are both superfluous and dangerous, cannot readily, easily, and gladly rise up to God, in which readiness true devotion consists. Children run eagerly after butterflies, and no one blames them because they are but children. But is it not a ridiculous and a melancholy sight to see men eager and earnest in pursuit of such unworthy trifles as those of which I speak, which, besides their own insignificance, run the risk of decomposing and injuring us whilst we follow after them? Therefore, my daughter, shake off all such attachments, and be assured that if the actions themselves are not contrary to devotion, to take delight in them is most hurtful to it. One weekend, my family went over to Atlanta to go to the aquarium and the Coca-Cola Museum. We went to celebrate my husband and I's 22nd wedding anniversary, and so my husband booked us a room at a nice historical hotel because he knows how much I enjoy those types of places. As we were walking around in the big park in Atlanta, we noticed that tons of adults were dressed up in weird costumes. Some costumes were Disney characters, some video game characters, some anime characters. There was a wide variety, and all of them were adults. Some were so scantily clad that my husband and I had to shield our 9-year-old's eyes, and ours were scarred in the process. Come to find out, a conference called Dragon Con was in town, and it draws thousands upon thousands. At breakfast the next morning, my little family sat there amongst dragons and princesses and Jedis and Mario characters and other bizarro outfits. Sitting in our Sunday church clothes, we looked like the most normal, well-adjusted family on the planet. And I'm not trying to brag or say that we are better than others, but the contrast was so great, it was almost laughable. None of this would have been weird to me if it had been children dressed up in their favorite cartoon or movie character, costumes. As St. Francis says, quote, "Children run eagerly after butterflies, and no one blames them because they are but children. But is it not ridiculous and a melancholy sight to see men eager and earnest in pursuit of such unworthy trifles as those of which I speak, which besides their own insignificance run the risk of decomposing and injuring us whilst we follow after them?" Unquote. In our day and age, people give enormous weight to entertainment. People tell me all the time that they just don't have any time to do anything that they really want to do. And yet, when you press them on what they are doing with their time, they are generally watching social media reels and binging on TV shows. Adults will ardently and with feverish passion defend their childhood TV shows, movies, and toys. For many, the only good memories they have of childhood is the accumulation of the toys that they had and the shows that they watched. And they come to identify with those things and never set them aside and grow up to become dignified adults. And this does injury to them because they continue to live in a childish world that revolves around themselves and provides nothing productive to society or to their lives. And look, I enjoy the 80s movies that I grew up on. I like to show my kids the toys and cartoons that I used to play with and watch, but that's it. That's the extent of it. There's nothing inherently wrong with enjoying entertainment. St. Francis says, quote, "Sports, balls, festivities, display, the drama in themselves are not necessarily evil things, but rather indifferent and capable of being used or abused," unquote. He goes on, quote, "Therefore, I should say that although it is lawful to amuse yourself, to dance, dress, hear good plays, and join in society, yet to be attached to such things is contrary to devotion and extremely hurtful and dangerous. It is a pity to sow in our heart such vain and idle inclinations, which occupy the place of better things and hinder our soul from devoting all its energies to higher pursuits," unquote. That last line I just read is the most important of today. I'll read it again. It is a pity to sow in our heart such vain and idle inclinations, which occupy the place of better things and hinder our soul from devoting all its energies to higher pursuits. It's important because we always need to put entertainment in its right place, which should be very low on the totem pole, and never allow it to become our identity or allow it to degrade our dignity and growth as a person of God. So we will stop here for today, Catholic Pilgrims. This one is a tough one for many to read because we hold our entertainment so close. And if it upsets you in any way or in any way made you defensive, take a step back, breathe, and evaluate the pricking of your conscience. I've had to do it many times in my life with regards to entertainment, and it's very important to be honest with oneself. So I'll see you back here soon, and until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.